Matrescence, a rite of passage. So I'm Shakina Lee and I run my own business in Kingscliff called Beautifully Wild. I provide counselling sessions, weddings and sacred ceremonies, specialty treatments, workshops, retreats, online courses and events. I've had 20 years of working with women, and this has given me a deep understanding of how stress, trauma, and emotions are held in both the mind and the body. And this allows me to offer a more compassionate, intuitive, and effective approach within all of my services. My sessions combine practical guidance with personal insight, creating a really supportive space for transformation, healing, and meaningful change to take place. So, did you know that there is a name for when a woman becomes a mother? It was erased from our vocabulary and forgotten by most, but it is slowly being resurrected. The word is matrescence. It is the profound physical, emotional, hormonal, and social transition that a woman experiences when becoming a mother. It's a rite of passage and it has been undervalued in society for far too long. Creating life, giving birth, this completely transforms a woman inside and out. Like puberty and menopause, there is a rewiring that happens through a woman's brain and body. And the more you can understand the journey into motherhood, the more balanced and fulfilled you can feel when you come out the other side. Using the right terms and having a deep understanding of what occurs during this transformational period can help reduce postnatal depression, relationship pressures, identity shifts, bonding issues, and birth trauma. You may still feel like you're on a roller coaster at times because, well, hormones. However, having a conscious awareness of all of the layers that are occurring during your transition into matrescence can help you complete this journey more easily and completely. So, for thousands of years, people have used stories and myths to understand and comprehend the experiences that they have in life. And we use the idea of the hero's journey to gain a deeper and more profound understanding of the birthing journey and a woman's transition into matrescence. It is a rite of passage. We talk about preparation, initiation, and integration, and a rite of passage is a ceremony, it's a ritual, it's a milestone that marks a significant change in a person's life. And many traditions around the world have ceremonies to mark these transitions. Birth, coming of age, marriage, the loss of a loved one, these are just some of the rite of passage experiences where you may be significantly impacted by the cycles of death, change, and rebirth, whether that is literally or figuratively. And the symbology of the metamorphosis from caterpillar to gooey mess in the chrysalis to butterfly is a poignant and apt analogy for the powerful transformations that can take place during a rite of passage. And this ties into the three phases or the three seasons of matrescence: the preparation, the initiation, and the integration of the birthing journey. First is the preparation time through pregnancy. You are the caterpillar, exploring, researching, experiencing, imagining, and doing your best to prepare for your journey into the unknown. This may sound obvious, however, during conception and pregnancy, women are in the preparation phase of the birthing journey. It is an opportunity for exploration and learning, and there are many things that can influence you at this time. It's important to realize that you have already imprinted with a subconscious idea of what the birthing journey entails. This happens through society stories around birth and motherhood, like what's portrayed in movies, books, TV shows, and social media. Family members' experiences of birth, your mom, your auntie, your sister, your friend, and the stories that accompany these experiences. And medical practitioners, health providers, care workers, what their biases, beliefs, and protocols are. From preconception to birth, there is usually a steep learning curve for first time mothers, and you may be having all sorts of feelings leading up to meeting your baby: joys, fears, questions, confusion. Birth is an unknown every single time it happens, and there is no perfect recipe for a perfect birth. But what we can do is prepare ourselves to the best of our abilities and not assume that every birth will be the same or that our experience will be similar to someone else's. During this time of exploration, I encourage women and their partners to not just dream in the most beautiful outcome possible, but to also face any fears that you may have. Meeting fears head on and creating a plan for alternative experiences can make the difference between an empowering journey and a traumatic one. And you can also read the articles that I've written on the birth fairy and the birth tigers. So, second is the initiation phase through your birthing experience. You are the gooey mess in the cocoon, no longer what you were, but not yet what you are becoming. This may be where you experience your biggest challenges on your journey. There is no perfect recipe for a perfect birth. I've said it again. Remaining flexible and open minded during this phase is incredibly important. Whether you give birth in alignment with your plans or you go off plan, this rite of passage can bring you the most important gifts of your life. And I don't just mean your baby. This space is called the initiation for a reason. You'll be asked to go deep, to be vulnerable, to surrender, and all while being strong. And after you've given birth, no matter how that looked, there is a period of time where you are the gooey mess in the cocoon still. No longer caterpillar, but not yet butterfly. So don't rush into this next part of the journey. Allow yourself to rest here and accept support from your friends, family, partner, and village. The last weeks and months of pregnancy, your labor, your birth, and your immediate postpartum experiences are where your major identity shifts take place. You are not the same person that you were before the birth of your child. It is vital that you do not rush through this phase in your rite of passage journey. In the story of Anana's descent, she needed to die to her old ways of being, her old self, and then it required help and support from those who loved her for her to come back into the world. You will cross a threshold during birth, regardless of the outcome of that experience. You stand on a precipice, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual in labor land, in that in between place. If you're feeling overwhelmed, traumatized, or confused, I really encourage you to reach out for support because you were never meant to do this alone. So the third stage is the integration stage during the fourth trimester or postpartum. So you are returning to the world, a new identity in the butterfly phase, and a rewiring has taken place. You have changed, and the world around you needs to accommodate this evolution into motherhood. When the baby is born, a mother is also born. This integration, this postpartum period can last up to 5 years, and how short or how long it is depends on a lot of factors. So, this is the return journey home, and we are not whole and grounded and our new self until we complete this rite of passage. So, as you pass back over the threshold of the underworld, your birth story is being created. If there is any blame, guilt, resentment, fear, or trauma present, it is vital that you obtain help and support to complete the journey home. The wonderful news is that all you have to do is take baby steps. Put one foot in front of the other and know that it is inevitable for you to finally and fully embody this butterfly phase, and you can return to your tribe, the hero. Self-care and a gentle pace are important as you complete your rite of passage. Do not expect yourself to need or want the same things that you did before you were stripped back to your core. It's okay to negotiate any new changes that need to happen, even if it's different to what you thought you would need when you were still the caterpillar. And it's also important to remember that not everyone around you has been through a rite of passage journey, and they may not know how to accept the changes taking place. That part isn't your responsibility. All you need to do is become your new self, follow your intuition, and make sure you are nurtured and nourished as you return home from your birthing journey. You may discover new friends, new interests, new foods, new priorities, and new boundaries. So don't underestimate the power of the journey home. Because birth was a time of honor for most tribal mothers. A woman in childbirth was treated with the same respect as a man in battle. And in fact, in the tribal mind, there was a metaphysical equation between the two acts. So, when we allow ourselves to fully explore this journey, the physical, the mental, emotional, and spiritual layers, we can embody the gifts, we can transform through the challenges, and we can return to ourselves whole and happy. There is no way to be a perfect mother, and yet there is a million ways to be a good one. Unfortunately, this birthing journey is often undervalued and misrepresented in society. How we experience every stage of this journey can make the difference between a joyful birth story or a traumatic one. Sometimes the negative impacts come through our healthcare providers, partners, or family members, and sometimes these negative impacts come from our very own subconscious belief systems and fears. And even with the best of intentions and the most incredible support, the birthing journey or transition into motherhood or matrescence may go a little astray. And it's actually perfectly normal to have some challenging moments within your experience because it wouldn't be a rite of passage if you didn't. For some, it's during conception, for others, during pregnancy, for many, it's during labor and birth. And then, of course, there is the fourth trimester. And sometimes birth leaves questions, not closure. You can love your baby and feel unsettled about how they arrived. You might replay moments, wonder why things happened, or feel like parts of your story were never explained. And this is where a birth debrief with a qualified practitioner and a birth story reframing with a matrescence mentor can be ideal. A birth debrief isn't about reliving birth, it's about understanding it. What happened, why decisions were made, where your voice was heard or wasn't. And our birth debriefings happen in a calm, trauma-aware space with an experienced midwife who understands both the clinical reality and the emotional weight of birth. And that's with Rachel DeRay, the integrated midwife. And those debriefing sessions are then followed up by a session with a specialized matrescence mentor and counselor who can support you to reframe your birthing story. And that's with me, Shakina Lee from Beautifully Wild. If your birth is still asking to be met, that's reason enough for you to listen. So you can contact us to book your birth debriefing and reframing session, either Rachel or myself, at either of those emails or websites. We would really love to hear from you, and we're more than happy to chat about what you might require. You can also join the Integrated Birthing Journey program online, and this can help you to obtain a comprehensive deep dive into the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual changes that are taking place during your birthing journey. And this course is full of symbolism, ancient wisdom, spiritual teachings, practical guidance, and clinical expertise to help you gain a deeper insight into your birthing rite of passage. So hopefully you now feel like you have a little more awareness and understanding around what the birthing journey can entail. And if you would like more help or support, counseling, matrescence support, the reframing, debriefing, or if you would like a baby naming, wedding, a closing of the bones ritual to help you integrate and have closure around your matrescence journey, then do please reach out to me. I would love to see you. And I would love to chat to you and see how that we can support you best.